Okay, so now I'm working on this because guess what? I went to go tighten up the spark plug and now I know why the spark plug was loose. It's stripped. So, oh, there goes my ratchet. I was just about to pull the spark plug in. Just look at the difference in size between these. So they both have roughly the same size engine, but man, this one here is just quite a bit bigger. So anyway, what I just did with this one here is I held it up like this with the throttle open and gave it a flush with silicone lube. Because yes, it has some junk that probably got in there over the years. So it has compression, and believe it or not, the recoil, I just gave it a couple pulls and it actually broke free. I'm pulling out the spark plug right now, but so it has a lot of compression. I mean, a lot of compression. So much that a compression release could probably be used on this engine. Look at that, brand new spark plug. So, kind of like that. You can see it ran on the spark plug. There's a little tiny bit of carbon on the inside. By the looks of it, it was running good, not too lean. And I can't really see anything inside there, but you can see the clutch is still seized up, but that probably would break free pretty quick. Stud is broken here for the chain guard. Someone had the muffler off at one time. That wasn't me loosening it up. The reason why I'm doing this, I actually have now 4 people that want to buy this saw. It's a Pioneer P40, I believe is what it was. It even has the safety and throttle lock. So, and according to my dad, he used to have one of these saws, and it was one of the best saws he ever owned. It has full rubber vibration dampeners on the top here and on the bottom. Ow! Almost lost it. So I actually read that some people just use a velocity stack on these and a foam filter out the top here, and they just run it like that. So might be what I'm going to do, because then I don't have to try to find original filter assembly. Make sure that screw stays tight, because if I do start it, I don't want that screw falling in. So what I'm going to do now is pull off the exhaust, which by the looks of it was, yeah, it's pretty loose. I'll probably do it on video in a few seconds here. Watch some baby mouse come jumping out. You see, yeah, someone hillbillied up a screw there, but hey. What do you expect for a saw that was made from 1973 to 1976? Gonna have to expect some redneck engineering somewhere, so I already looked. Everything is available for this saw, every part I can think of. Yeah, I'm going to open that up and look at it, but for now I want to see what the piston looks like. Ooh, it actually looks pretty. I have to stop this and turn on my light. There we go. So it looks pretty good. Put this down somewhere. I don't want to get grease over my camouflage. You know, can't do that. Just my work clothing. That actually looks very nice on the inside there. Not much carbon on the top. You can see I just sprayed, like I said, silicone lube in it, and I just got some in my face there. I can see now there's no guaranteed no porting done. You can see in the very bottom there that it's still rough. And as you can see, what I'm doing right now is just if there's any dirt in there, I'm trying to flush it out before I try starting it. So, yeah, that's a pretty big cylinder on that thing. So I think this thing's 66 cc's if I remember right. And as you can see, it's auto oiler system. So give me a few seconds, I'll put back on the muffler. I'm just going to double check the inside of it. Make sure the threads look good on that spark plug hole. And then I'll give it a pull, see what happens. I don't even know if it has spark yet, mind you. Sweet. Okay, I just checked, she has a good spark. Man, it's starting to look good, this engine. See if I can get this on the video. So she has spark. That's a bonus. Okay. So this is going to be the first start attempt. Now, I already have some silicone lube in here from a few seconds ago, but I'm going to put a little bit more. Give it a few seconds, because I know stuff starts on that stuff. Oh, she fired it. Well, somewhat overrun. Needs to be cleaned, big time. Ooh, got stiff. Yeah, I had Teflon tape holding my camera. That's all I could find. Well, I guess that's a good start. Now, I'll give it a pressure wash. So that stud has to be changed. I know one of them I had was a bitch trying to change that stud. So this one has the crankcase reed valves. Something definitely loose in it. So before I run it anymore, because I think that might be why the recoil was stuck, whatever's rattling in there. So it probably stuck against the flywheel. So before I even try starting it anymore, this one I am going to pull off the cover and take a look at it. But at least I know it runs and it has great compression. Sweet. Okay, so I just washed it. Yeah, I washed it. I don't care if water gets in the carburetor. Sure, of course, if I gave it a direct shot down there with the pressure washer, it could have blew out the reeds or wrecked the reeds. But of course, I had the choke shut, you know, and of course the throttle wasn't open. So, and by the sounds of it, not much water got in there. But anyway, the little clunking noise I heard was just a little tiny rock right there, and it's just jammed pretty much right in there. So the rest of the recoil cover, which I also washed, seems to be in very nice shape. So as you can see, nothing's broken. So I knew something, because you know when you pull it over and then all of a sudden the rope jams up, you know, yeah, you better check out what it is before it jams up when it's running. And it never happened because you could see, you know, there's nothing in there. Now, how the hell did that rock get in with all that, like the way they, you see someone riveted a cover over top that just in case. I guess it could have came across the top here inside it. So you can see a little bit more here now that I cleaned it up. It was pretty full of oil, so, well, no, as you can tell, my wire came off. That's no big deal. I'll snip an inch off, stick it back on, or maybe I'll put on a performance one. I got that NGK race one. I got a couple of those hanging around. A little bit of grease still up there. It was actually pretty covered in, hey, look, wildlife. It was pretty covered in grease. You could see actually back there where I missed some. So, yeah. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is put on the recoil temporary, pull out the spark plug, and silicone lube the shit out of it, and hopes to get all the water out. Oh, there's wildlife, he's back. Flying ant. You can see here, there's a little bit of, who knows what jammed up under the clutch here. Twigs, string, I have no idea. So, I don't know if that's why it's seized. It looks like someone tried to remove this at one time and gave up. So, I don't know if that can, if the studs even can be threaded out of there on this one. So I know the one other one I had was a bitch. But of course I was able to do it. Anyway, I better get some silicone lube in there before the cylinder bore starts rusting and everything else. Sweet. And of course you can see I missed some up there. But of course I was just giving it a quick clean to see if there's any cases. And I might even go Mad Max style on this and just sandblast it and kind of leave a raw looking finish. So I actually seen a guy did that on the vintage chainsaw forum that I member on, and it actually looked pretty good. So anyway, better get to work. Okay, so the fuel line was pretty much cracked to shit on here. Rubber side's good. It's just when I went to the hard vinyl line, which I can't even grab here. There we go. So it was dirty. So what I'm doing for now is I'm pulled the filter out of the tank, filling it up with silicone lube. Just like that. And I'm going to let it sit for a few seconds. Take my cloth, wipe it off, because that stuff doesn't taste the best. I'm going to blow it through. I'm just going to get all the water out, because yeah, I just rinsed out the tank with water. Then I'll use gas. And that's kind of looks a lot cleaner now. I sprayed it with some of that stuff too. So, and I don't have to worry about the lube going anywhere because it actually dries pretty good. So yeah, I don't have any of that fuel line, so I'm kind of shit out of luck for today there for starting it. But I know it's going to run. So what I'm going to do, seeing I'm not going to be able to show the final start. Today is Friday, by the way. I was going to make a video just showing that the spark plug was stripped on there the other day, but I just never had a chance. I had some other computer issues to play around with. So anyway, I'm going to pull off this carb here and just give it a quick bath. Actually probably thinking I probably don't even have to. So let's see if the diaphragm's good, and then I can always pull it off after. By the way it looks, the guy properly drained the gas out of it when he stored it. I'm just a little bit picky about that. See if someone had that off before. Probably had some spark issues. Who really knows? But seeing it's from 1973 to 1976, this thing, who knows how many trees it cut down in its life. Okay, sweet. Okay, so I got the carb off. The screen here is pretty dirty. I just gave it a quick blast for now with carb clean. I'm going to try to clean it up a bit more. It's actually not that bad. Now, I got to see if I can track down a new one of these gaskets. Now for the fun part. Hope the diaphragm is not ripped or rotten, which I have always had them rotten, so I never had a good one. So I'm probably just going to buy the gasket set. For some reason the choke, oh no, there it goes. I was going to say, the choke is pretty stiff. But of course, I just washed all the oil and everything off it. It's not that bad now. So, number 8. Don't know exactly what size this is yet, but of course everything's out of focus there. It's the same carburetor, I'm pretty sure that's in that one, so I should almost check. So anyway, I'll finish cleaning this, put this side back on, and then I'll see what's under here. Well, I know what's under it, but see what shape it's in. See how much dirt it's sucked in over the years. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to order some more parts. Diaphragm's all ripped, so it's rotten. See right there, right where it goes onto the nub. So anyway, yep, not going to be starting this anytime soon. Pretty beefy, like a carburetor on this thing, hey? So also has a 1963 patent, and this saw should be 73 to 76. So this might not be the original carb. Now, of course, I already looked. That saw right there, it takes the exact same carburetor, so I could technically just take parts off that one. But I don't really want to part that one out just yet, so I'll spend the 20 bucks and buy a gasket set for this. And while I'm at it, I'll probably get a reed gasket and a few other things. So, don't know what shape those reeds are in yet. Never popped them apart. So, they're sealing. It looks like they're fine. Of course, I'll actually have to take it apart to actually find out for sure. But of course, it started when I gave it a little shot of not that stuff. So you know. So that's where I'm going to end this video for today. Of course, I'm going to blame that one on that. So yes, just needs a carburetor kit, and I'm also going to get. How's this guy? Ew. That came out of somewhere in here. Anyway, so I'm going to also get, I don't know if they call it a velocity stack or what they call it, but it takes the place of that, and it allows you to put a foam air filter on here. So I know those kits are about 30 bucks to get something decent, so I might just do that. Even with that pressure washer and a cleaner, it still leaves a little bit of dirt. So I am going to do a compression test on it while I'm waiting for the carburetor. Of course, I should take that random screw out of there. And of course I'm waiting on fuel line. The clutch, if I hold the flywheel I can spin the clutch, it's just very stiff. So I'll have to pop that apart. Got to see if I can remove that stud on the other side and see what I can do. So it'll probably be a week or so before you see another video on this, because I'll wait until I get it all complete before I make the video. So, and I might just helicoil that one for the hell of it. Don't know yet. Of course, I got all those other engines and those other engines to play with in the meantime, but I kind of want to go through one at a time. So, oh gee, doesn't that look yummy?
Well, yeah.
Everything else is in good shape.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, the clutch was all full of shit, but it still needs bushings and it needs a new sprocket. As you can tell, I took off the arms. I'm going to be sandblasting it, and I got to get the stud out of here. Now, I'm still trying to figure out if that stud actually comes out of there easy. So this one looks like it would, but that one there is kind of hard to say. So basically, if I tighten this up at all, even a little bit, it gets so tight that it locks it up. Just moving my beer so it doesn't fall. So other than that, I'm going to pull back off the clutch because I got to be able to get this stud out. And of course, I hear people driving by. Have the camera going, and it's like 12 o'clock at night. So you can see, very nice and dark. And yeah, that blue light, it's just a camera. Yeah, I mounted a blue light on the camera. So, anyway, don't know how much more I'm going to do of this. I'm just waiting for a buddy to meet me for coffee in a few minutes. So, I'm going to probably quit for now. Oh, I got the reed valve off too, as you can tell. So, you know, just standard double flop reed valve. Used to be able to make a noise when I blew in it. It's still okay shape. Well, you can't really hear it. Before it was singing, now it doesn't want to. Anyway, you see in there. Everything looks being nice and tight. No up and down crank play. No end play whatsoever. So everything seems to be good. For the hell of it, I might just pull off the head. You know, I'm already at this point here where I could just do it within 4 Allen keys and the exhaust and whatever else. So I'll let you guys keep you guys up to date as I go along with it. It's probably going to have a date with the sandblaster pretty soon too. Sweet.